Here we are. So, good afternoon from Karlovy Vary in Czech Republic. I'm here for the film festival, and this is a very impulsive sort of a vlog that's happening right now. I just came back from watching Bob Roberts, which is a film by Tim Robbins. He was there, introduced the film. Sweet, nice. And in about an hour, I have to go to watch his talk. I'm getting a little worked up right now when I'm doing this because it's almost like a rant, not exactly, but a lot of things are things that have been bothering me a lot. About a year ago, in September of 2017, I started doing a course in film direction, a master's in Barcelona, Spain. And it was a big I wouldn't call it struggle, but it was consuming to get the visa, because you have to submit a million documents to get that. Anyway, got to Spain, started doing it. Barely knew Spanish, right? Barely. But I wanted to do this. I really wanted to do this because I wanted to live in a foreign culture, make new friends, and somewhere also wanted to challenge myself to be able to do something in a foreign language. It was, maybe I was ignorant about how tough it will actually end up being, because I only thought that it will be tough, that it will be a little difficult to understand the classes, but it turned out to be much more than that. I primarily speak in English, and that wasn't the mode of communication, which meant that I couldn't express myself. I could not completely understand what other people were saying. I take this upon me that I didn't put in as much efforts in practicing the language, Spanish, Castellano, because I thought that instead of spending time doing this, I should be reading other things up about film direction, since it was 7 to 8 month course, very intensive. So I ended up focusing doing those things, and I thought that if there's something that's important, there were my classmates, there were teachers who were very helpful, who would translate it to me. And I was trying to take it easy on that front, but on the other side, I was really pushing myself in reading up things and watching interviews and watching movies. And before that, I had been doing some documentary films, and so to switch from documentary to fiction was a little bit of a hassle and a little bit of a struggle. Fast forward the end of masters, and then in May this year, about a month ago, I go to Cannes Film Festival. And Cannes is a only film industry festival, which just means not open to general public. And I thought it was a big deal when I applied for it, for the professional accreditation. It's not. But when I got there, I was again pumping it. I had my visiting card printed with my website on it. The website was still not ready. I mean, I hadn't even bought the domain. I was just constantly checking that no one else has bought the domain, but I printed it anyway. Now it's complete though. You can check it out, shubhrawanda.com. And I have been a big believer of visualization and manifestation, and believing and feeling that things are already done, and that way attracting them to yourself. And one of the things that I had been constantly doing for a while now is working with Martin Scorsese. And so I go to Cannes and I get my pamphlet, brochure, booklet. Now I'm flipping through the pages and I see Mean Streets screening, followed by a talk with Martin Scorsese, and I'm like, I'm like, it actually fucking works, right? Yes, I'm excited. I'm super excited. I want to make sure that this happens and I do meet him. So I'm hustling. I went to the theater or the hall where the talk and the film was going to happen, and I bumped into this one lady. And here's one thing: being well dressed, perfect. It helps you so much. It like, yeah, do that if you want to do something very important, something that means to you, and you want to kind of secure it in some ways, because people are impressionable, and if they see you being well dressed, it gives you can't find the word, but it kind of makes you feel genuine and stuff. So I dress up and I'm over there, and I'm like, so I met Martin Scorsese's manager in New York, and blah blah blah, and I was gonna meet Martin Scorsese, but then he was caught up with the shooting of Irishman, so he couldn't come meet me, blah blah blah. And so the lady is like, I'm pretty sure that Mr. Martin Scorsese is gonna be here tomorrow for the talk, and I don't know how much of a time will you have to speak to him, but I do know he's already here because I met his assistant. Now I'm like, oh, but then there'll be so many people, and I want to make sure this happens. Now the reason I'm in Cannes is because of Martin Scorsese, which kind of was true. I was just kind of believing and hoping that Martin Scorsese will actually like drop in, and it actually happened. And she's like, what I can do is I can put you in touch with the press head of Cannes Film Festival, and you can contact her and she can help you out with where he's staying and stuff like that. So I'm like, sweet. And this is all hustling. I understand it's kind of immoral and maybe not the best way, but if you stick around rules, I think, I'm not murdering anyone to get to Martin Scorsese. I was debating, I was kind of, questioning myself on that, but I was like, you have a route, you do it. And I'm even nervous accepting that I did that. So I text the press head the same old story that I was in New York, blah 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 blah. I was in New York, but I never went to Martin Scorsese's office or to the Film Foundation or whatever. And so she's like, hey, I can't do anything. What I can do is pass on the email of the assistant. And I'm like, bingo. And I spent like good 2 hours framing that little email so that it's not too long but elaborate enough to explain. Of course, I couldn't have pulled off the manager bit because she would have the number of the manager, but I was like, it would be the greatest honor to have met him and blah 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 blah. It didn't happen, but in the opening ceremony, I was about, say, 100 meters away from, more away, further away from Martin Scorsese when he was inaugurating the festival. In the talk, I was a little closer, and I kind of took that very conveniently in a symbolic manner, that a step closer, a step closer. And today with Tim Robbins, after doing the chat, he was very informal. He kind of ran around and gave like a high five to everybody on the seats, and like he kind of stopped giving high five like 2 seats ahead of me, and so I couldn't like shake hands with him. And I was like, symbolic, getting closer, but then not there. And I realized that I've been running around these festivals and I've been trying to do things so that I have good network, but I really need to be working on my films. And I was so before coming to Karlovy Vary, I was in Prague, and something amazing happened in Prague. And in the following vlogs, you're gonna see a couple of interviews with a physicist, with this travel tour guide who's traveled like 34 countries and stuff like that. So when I did his tour, right before he commenced the tour, he's like, the next 2.5 hours are going to change your life. And I love that confidence. I love how people can say, this is who I am and I'm confident in what I do. And it actually did, because knowing the history and knowing the way he was narrating it, I was like, I want to become an artist. I honestly, truly want to become an artist. Like, yes, I want to be a filmmaker and I want to be cool and all of that stuff. But I genuinely like, I can, I would love to direct something commercial, but I want to find out my voice. I guess that's what I was looking for, to be able to express something that I want to, that I could do with rap, and I need to do that with film. And so it felt good that it was going well, that the journey was progressing. But what people, I mean, I get this a lot of times. My classmates from the Spanish school and like friends from India keep telling me that you're the one who's living life, you're the one who's doing what people should be doing, and you're rocking in Cannes and stuff. Mm, yeah, okay, this is beautiful. Wearing a bow tie and being dressed up and having like a good tag is interesting. But I wouldn't call it a cost, but I have made choices. There's like the first kind of properish film I made was only a year ago, and hopefully my latest film should be in the festivals. I should be getting to know about it in the next few weeks. But it has been very intense. You know, I really have worked very hard to get here. And I'm proud of it, okay? I'm super proud of it. But it does bother me because it kind of hurts because I hadn't had a girlfriend in like a year and a half. And this is where the rant really starts. It might just seem like girls, but it's not just girls. I haven't had really friends, you know. Last night I was talking to a friend of mine from India, and she was telling me that she kind of feels very exhausted, and she just needs a hug. And she is the girl who does not like hugs, like. And she was like, I don't. And the worst part is I don't want to ask anybody to hug for a hug. I just want somebody to come and hug me the way you did like 6 months ago when I met her. And for me, that was the best compliment I could have received. Like, that was like superb. But I was like, shit, that's kind of me right now. Like, I need that. I haven't had a hug in the longest time. Like, yeah, like not like a bro side, yo, what's up hug, but like a proper, like, yo, I'm there for you kind of a hug. And that's what kind of drained me off, this idea of not really having friends. Like, acquaintances are fine, but then really, really having friends that you can call up at 2 in the morning and be like, hey, listen, what's up? Like, either I want to cry out to you or I just want to, talk to you about, I don't know, just was getting bored, so I called you up. I haven't had that, and I've missed that, and I want to have that. And at the same time, when you are not satisfied in one area of your life, you kind of try and see that in other areas of your life. Like, if you don't have, that's the thing, it kind of became a loop that I was working so hard and I was not going and speaking to girls that I used to generally do. If I used to like somebody, if I used to find somebody, I'm sorry, I'm fumbling. If I used to find somebody attractive, I would generally go and compliment them or speak to them. And I was not doing that during the masters because I used to think that even if I go and we have a good chat and we exchange numbers, the point is I'm not going to call her up because I wouldn't have the time to follow up the chat or go on a date or whatever. And it was very like focused sort of a thing, which worked out very well. But then now it's kind of stressing me out because now I'm free and it takes a little bit of a time to go from like one wavelength to another wavelength and to like change my frequency of thinking that, hey, now we are at a decent pace where you don't have to pump in so much effort. It's like torque and speed, a bit of engineering coming out here. I don't need to put in that much of torque, but I can like cruise now, so I can like focus on other facets and other areas of my life that I need to be need fulfilled for myself. And so that's where we are right now, and few days ago, I spoke to a girl, went up to her at a restaurant, and she was with a friend, and I told her I like her, and I would love to do a photo shoot with her and stuff like that. And I felt good because I felt like I've grown my balls back. I hadn't done that in the longest time, and that felt good. And I feel right now that yes, I need a lot of money. I definitely need. I mean, I the kind of lifestyle that I want for myself, I do, and I will need a lot of money. And I do keep doing this attraction thing, this visualization of things are working out. And I did a beautiful photo shoot back in Prague, and hope to do a couple of more in Budapest when I go there. And right now, I was supposed to actually just quickly eat my lunch and rush to the theater, which is like 2 minutes away from here. But I was like, I was watching Casey Neistat, I think that's how you pronounce his name, the vlogger from New York. And he was like, I started watching this video which was titled Daily Motivation for YouTubers, listen to this every day, something like that. And he is like, I'm a father, I have kids, I have a wife, I've got bills to pay, this is real life, and I still find time to do videos every day, so I know you can. And I'm like, shit, you're true, that's so fucking true. That I was like, hey, I don't when I'm in the moment, I love to be in the moment with myself or share it with somebody, but not with a camera. Like, not with a camera in my own hand. I'm like, ha 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 ha, look at this, look at that. Yeah, I can't do that, not my thing. But I was like, you don't have to be like, ha ha ha, and all that stuff. You can be creative in that, you can make it more interesting. And I was just finishing up my food, and I realized I'm sitting right next to a window. It's like burnt right now, and yeah, the background is shitty and everything's shitty and not the best camera angle and all of that. But after watching that video, it reminded me of a quote by Twila Thorpe from her book The Creative Habit, and she says that an imperfect dome in Florence is better than cathedrals in the clouds, which basically means don't run after perfection, but keep working. If you keep waiting or keep perfecting and nothing is out there for you to see. Simple example being that if I keep going on and saying I'm a filmmaker, I'm a photographer, and all my photos are on my hard drive, not on my website, because I'm like, hey, I wanna, Photoshop them very well and stuff like that. It's not really working. It's fine if they're 50%, 60% fine. I mean, I'm not saying be lazy, but don't get caught up in something like that, which I am, and I am breaking free. That's why this very impulsive vlog. So, lesson for today, I guess. Go do your thing now, right? Drop the excuses. Let this hit you. Let it snap. And do your thing, really. Honestly, just believe, and it'll get exhausting, it'll be consuming, but one of my mentors, John English, told me that inspiration is for amateurs, the rest of us just go to work. So for the times that inspiration comes, be thankful, be grateful, as my English teacher used to say, that accept what life gives you with both hands. But for the time when there is no inspiration, do it anyway, just do it. So, not a promotion for Nike, but get up, and it will be exhausting. There will be ups and downs. It's going to be something that you never expected. I never expected not having friends, not being able to speak to women, not being able to communicate myself. I generally take pride in my ability to be vocal about my thoughts and my feelings. And the idea is that when you end up being too strong for a little too long, it kind of damages you a little too much. And that's something that had happened in the Spanish master's thing, but it was a beautiful thing. I learned so much, and now here I am. So it's okay. It's fine. It maybe that's how the journey needed to be. Maybe that's how I wanted it to be somewhere. And now we are here, and I have to rush for Tim Robbins' talk. Hey, to quote Tim Robbins, get busy living or get busy dying. Yeah. So with that, I'm out, and hopefully, not hopefully, I'm gonna do one vlog tomorrow as well. So I'm not saying I'm gonna do one every day, but I'm gonna do one tomorrow, and then tomorrow I'm gonna say I'm gonna do one tomorrow, and hopefully it will be every day. But no, for now, I do it tomorrow. You guys stay safe, live it, and do what you're afraid of. It's the most beautiful thing. Take that fear and overcome it. Do not be afraid by it. I think tomorrow I can get back and talk to you about how I spoke to that girl at the growing my balls back bit. And so yeah, I'm out after like 5 delays of saying I'm out. Ciao.